This is what happens when you have a convertible. Hey everyone, how you doing? If you are new here, I'm Nicol Concilio and welcome to the video. So today we are going to be doing our first ever holiday look of the season. We are going to be doing a festive green eye look. I really love playing around with greens this time of year and silvers and reds, and since I have been doing a lot of those redsy, purpley colors on my channel, I figure let's switch it up and do a green eyeshadow look. I am going to be using the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This is sponsored by Urban Decay, just the eyeshadow portion. So thank you to Urban Decay for this opportunity. And thank you to you guys for being so cool all the time with sponsorships. You really, really rock. So yeah, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get into it. Let's do a good old-fashioned makeup tutorial. And yeah, I'm excited, so let's go. I'm going to first prime my eyelids with the P. Louise base. This, I believe, is in shade number 2. And I'm just going to tap this all over the eyelid. And then I'm just going to blend everything out with a concealer brush. Y'all, we just got back from New York City. I'm a little jet lagged. I went home. I went to my hometown for Thanksgiving. Saw my family. It was really, really nice. And I think on the flight home, I may have caught a cold. I'm currently in that in-between stage where if I don't get enough sleep, I'm definitely gonna wake up tomorrow with a full-blown cold type of thing. So let's pray that I can fight this off. I've been drinking Emergency like every 3 minutes, so... So I'm going to zoom you guys on in so we can get a better look at the eyes. So using the Born to Run palette, I'm going to go in with the shade Breakaway on this very large fluffy brush. And I'm just going to tap my entire eyelid with this because I'm going to do a very different eye look from what I've done on my channel in a really long time. I remember I did my makeup like this last year, but I never really filmed a tutorial for it. And a lot of you guys really liked it. So I figured let's bring her back and let's do a full-on toot for it. And then the next color I'm going to be going in with is the shade Weekender. This is going to be going right into my crease. I'm not going to be doing a lot of dramatic transition shades, just letting you guys know up front. You probably will not be able to see a lot of these colors on camera because they are very, very similar to my eyelid shade, my skin tone shade. This is probably my favorite palette that Urban Decay has put out this year. So if you haven't tried the Born to Run palette, I definitely recommend it. And then the last transition shade I'm going to be going in is the shade Riff right here. And I'm gonna work that like directly in the socket, right in the crease of my eye. Just like right here, ever so slightly. And that's literally like all I'm gonna add, honestly, to our transition. Obviously gonna blend it out a little bit better, but this is kind of it for the transition. Leave me a comment down below what some of your plans are for the holidays. Do you guys stay home? Do you vacation anywhere? Do you go to family, boyfriend, girlfriend, cousin's house? For Christmas this year, we're going to Riley's. We did Thanksgiving with my family, so now we are gonna do Christmas with his. And then we'll probably swap next year. Who knows? The holidays can be so stressful sometimes, like figuring out where you're gonna go. I think that's the most stressful part. Sometimes I wanna just be like, I'm just staying on my couch, you know? But that's just me. Okay, so I am going to switch over to a gel liner. And for this part, I'm gonna be using an angled brush. And I'm going to start to draw almost like a winged liner, but do it very thick. So I'm gonna go out like this. And then taking it up into my crease. Like right about here. And now I'm gonna take the pencil and kind of start to fill some of it in. It just kind of like sparsely, and then I'll blend it. But pretty much this is what we are going to be doing here. And then you can take your angled brush and kind of mix everything together, spread it out. And then we are going to go over everything with black eyeshadow. This is just to get everything in motion, set in place, so that it doesn't move. Because if you just go in with black eyeshadow, it's not going to be as pigmented. You really want to have that nice cream base for it to stay and last and be as poppin' as possible. So once we got this going on, I'm going to switch to a smaller brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Jet right here on the Born to Run palette, this matte black shade. And I'm just going to fill in and press and kind of pat on this black shadow to really just intensify everything even more, fill in any sparseness you got going on. So now that we have this, I'm going to take a little makeup remover wipe and I'm just going to clean up the edges even more so that way it looks kind of perfect. So then my next step is going to be going in with this green, and I'm going to wet the brush to kind of make it so that the eyeshadow is really sticky and almost creates like a liner feel to it, if you know what I'm saying. And I use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray to wet my brush. And I'm going to be going in with this green shade right here called Wanderlust. And I'm going to pack that on both sides of the brush. And I'm basically going to just start to outline where I want this green shadow to go. Like so. And once your brush is wet, it's really easy to kind of create that sharper looking line, and is a lot easier to blend as well. Obviously, I'm going to let that dry and we're going to blend it a little bit more. But pretty much this is going to be the gist of the eye look. And then I'm going to just take my finger and kind of blend the two together. And then over the green eyeshadow, I'm going to be taking the shade Pyro from the Heavy Metals. And I'm just going to be adding some glitter. This kind of has a green tint to it. And this is just going to, you know, spruce it up even more. And for mascara, I'm going to be going in with the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. This is honestly one of my favorite mascaras. And also, if you guys aren't feeling the green look, like if you wanted to do a gold or a red or a silver, you could literally follow the same pattern. Do like a gold to black or like a silver to red or a green to red, like whatever you want to do, you know? You don't have to follow my same exact color scheme, but you could kind of get the hint of the gist of things. And then for lashes, I'm going to be using Lilly Lashes. These aren't too dramatic of lashes, because I want you to be able to still see the eyeshadow look. Let it get a little bit tacky, you know what I mean? Like your uncle's jokes at the Christmas table. Just let it get a little tacky. You know what I saw on Twitter this past weekend, and I thought it was so funny, you guys. It was like, if you want to get picked on all night long, wear ripped jeans to a family event or to a Thanksgiving table. And I was like, holy crap, that is so damn true. And then I'm going to apply these as close to the lash line as humanly possible since I'm not wearing any eyeliner. And I always like to secure in the middle first, because once you have that middle piece down, it's a lot easier to make sure the rest is in motion. I gotta pick a different lash because that was not working out. They were too spiky. A lash can make or break an eyeshadow look. I'm gonna go in with Miami's. I got the dogs in here and Junie's growling. She heard a noise. All right, you guys, so this is the eye look. I'm gonna zoom y'all out. I'm gonna finish this eye off camera and we'll be back to do the rest of our face. Okay, y'all, now that we got everything situated, when I'm zoomed out, you can get an even better look at like how nice and elegant the look is. It's like dramatic enough, but simple enough. You don't have to sit there and blend for hours. It's really, really easy and simple. It's one of my favorite looks to do around the holidays. And like I said, you could switch it up. You could do a red, you could do a silver, you could do a gold, blue, whatever. So let's move on to our face. I primed with the Tarte off camera Rainforest of the Sea, the Quench. I have been going through very dry skin in this area where my pores are. I'm not exactly sure what's going on because I haven't changed anything drastically in my makeup routine, so I'm trying to stick with more hydrating products at the moment. I honestly think it's from all of the wires. I think it's from all of the wildfires and just the air being extra dry here in California. So I'm gonna be going in with the ColourPop No Filter Foundation Stick. This is in shade Medium 90W, and I'm just going to apply this all over. I find that it's best that if you apply this foundation in kind of sections and definitely want to use a damp beauty blender. And I'm going to actually use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray to wet the beauty blender. And then I'm just going to go on in with this beauty blender. This is a really, really great foundation, especially if you have dry skin. I really like it. I know there are some people that it isn't their favorite, but I think that this is such a beautiful foundation on my skin specifically. So, and you know, even with one coat, you can already see like that that difference. Oh, you know what, you guys? I asked the other day on my Instagram, this freckle of mine is getting like darker and like, you know, it's just getting a little bit more pronounced with my age. I've gotten it checked out and everything. It's nothing to be afraid of. Like, it's just a freckle. So I was like wondering, should I like accentuate my freckle? Like, or should I just cover her up? I don't really know. So we have a nice even applied layer. I'm gonna go in with some concealer. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof 12-Hour Concealer in the shade Light Medium Beige. Like I said, y'all, I have been using very, very hydrating products because my skin... Excuse me. My skin is really, really dry, and I just want to make sure I'm using the right products in order for it to look good. So I'm just applying that there, put a little bit above the Cupid's bow, down my nose. I stopped putting concealer on my forehead because I noticed it was getting a little bit cakey while doing so, and that's when my forehead lines were getting way more accentuated before the Botox. Okay. But you know what I mean. And I just kind of stopped that, and I really like the way that it looks. Junie, come on, you gotta sit down, honey. Sit down, be a good girl. You wanna come into camera? Come here, come here, come here, Juge. Come here, come here, honey. Right, Abby, 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 come on. She's like, no. Come on, Abby. Oh, there she is. What a beautiful girl you are. Yes. This is Junie's first camera debut. Oh my God. Like a baby. And then to contour, I'm going to go in with Dark 177C from ColourPop. And I'm just going to add a little bit above. Guys, a trick that has saved my life with contour, cream contour, powder contour, contour in general, is actually applying the contour a little bit higher than where it should be. That way, when you blend it out, it actually falls into place like perfectly, and you avoid that muddy contour look. So if you have problems with your contour, try that method out. And then I'm just gonna go right in and start to blend everything out. And I always like to make sure my beauty blender is damp or has like a little bit of moisture to it. That way everything is easy to blend out as well. I do really find that this ColourPop foundation mixed with the Tarte concealer is a very, very, very pretty combination, especially for people with dry skin. So if you suffer from dry skin, especially this time of year, you may wanna check that out. It could be a really good combo for you. All right, we're all blended out. So I'm going to go in with some Laura Mercier setting powder. And I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy with this powder because, like I said, your girl's really dry. And I'm just gonna go and set my under eyes and set my contour. Basically, you're setting the areas where you want to add more powder on. Like you want to add your powder highlight, you want to add a powder blush, a powder contour. That is why we set our faces. So if you don't set your face and you find that like sometimes your makeup gets muddy, that can also be the reason. And I find that patting the skin with the brush rather than dragging it is a way better technique. So I definitely recommend that as well. Just kind of like tapping it into the skin rather than dragging it or brushing it around. I find that anytime I drag something like that, a setting powder, it just never looks right. So learn from my mistakes. And then I'm going to take an even fluffier brush and kind of get off any of the excess powder we have going on here. So for contour, I'm going to be using Marc Jacobs Tantastic in the shade 104. This has been a holy grail of mine for a while, and I'm really sorry, you guys. I really try to switch things up and change things up, but there really has not been any new like contour products or bronzing products that have come out that I'm like, oh my God, I need to have or need to try. The only other brand that I feel like has really good bronzer stuff is like MAC Cosmetics and NARS. So I'm just gonna go in and start to chisel out my cheeks with this. And again, I'm applying this a lot higher on the cheek and then dragging it down. So that way it kind of settles better into the face. This has seriously changed my face game, my makeup game so much, you guys. I feel like this year my makeup game has improved like a bajillion %, and it's all from trying out these new techniques. So don't be afraid to play around and try new things because you may create something that you adore. Okay, you guys, for highlighter, I'm going to be using Lilly Cosmetics in the shade Snow Angel. This is a really pretty champagne. I really like this highlighter a lot. I think it's one of her best ones that she's ever created, and it's definitely super blinding, which I personally really like. And then for blush, I'm going to be using Lilly Cosmetics at all because I literally feel like this blush that she did for her holiday collection is the best blush I've ever used in my entire makeup career. The color is so beautiful, and I would say this if it was a CVS brand, if it was Rite Aid brand, if it was 99 cents brand, the product is very good. And this is the shade called Winter Kissed, and I'm just going to pop it on the apples of my cheeks and kind of blend it backwards. And while you're applying blush, I feel like it's good to have, you know, a nice little smile. That way you could find the apples of your cheeks. I also like to apply blush below the nose. Also, I know that this looks kind of crazy right now with the blush, but my skin really absorbs pigment, so that's why I kind of go heavy with my powders. And then for the lower lash line, we're going to be taking the Born to Run palette, and we're going to be taking that black shade called Jet, and I'm going to run this strictly on the outer part of the eye, very close to the lower lash line. We don't want to look like a raccoon. And then going in with the green shade we used, Wanderlust, I'm going to take that and line my lower lash with that as well. And you could take any type of blending brush you want and feather out the edges so that way it doesn't look too intense. And for lips, I'm going to be using the shade Bite Me from Lilly Cosmetics. This is a nice deep red, not too bright. All right, you guys, and this right here is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this holiday makeup tutorial, and if there's more holiday looks you guys want me to create, make sure you give this video a thumbs up so I know. And also make sure you subscribe to my channel, click that bell notification. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!